Alright, so welcome back to another video on C++. The book that I've been working out of for these problems is An Introduction to Programming with C++. Uh, Chapter 3 was about variables and constants. So pretty much variables, in my understanding of it is a variable is pretty much like a memory location that's going to change all the time. So you input some information, it doesn't stay the same when you run the program. A constant, on the other hand, will stay exactly the same all the time. So in the last video we were talking about, we had a constant for pi. We want pi to stay the same all the time because if we were to make it a variable and we were to input that information each time, we could make we could have a mistake, and instead of putting 3.14 we type in 3.15 by accident. That throws off an equation. So that's why you have variables and constants. Chapter 4 is about completing the problem-solving process. So essentially with programming, you have about 5 steps. You analyze the problem, plan the algorithm, desk check the algorithm, complete the problem-solving process. Step 5 is desk checking the programming. 6 is evaluating and modifying the program. So it's 6 steps. For this one, we're pretty much still using the same stuff, variables and constants. Um, but it's just another problem that was in the book that I thought would be a good one to use. Just a tutorial guidance on how to do these things. So we're going to be looking at chapter 4, problem 11. So the problem reads, Jacob Weinstein wants a program that displays his savings account balance at the end of the month, given the beginning balance, the total deposits, and total withdrawals. Using the chart shown earlier in figure 412 as a guide, enter the input, processing, and output items as well as the algorithm in the first column. We're not going to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. We're going to desk check the algorithm twice. For the first desk check, we'll use 2545.75 as the beginning balance. Total deposits would be 409.43, and total withdrawals is going to be 210.65. Second desk check is 11, 5, 33, 23, and 894. Enter the C++ in the second column of the chart and then desk check the algorithm. We're not going to do that, and if necessary, create a new project, name introductory 11 project. So again, we're using Visual Studio Community 2022. Since we're working in C++, we'll go ahead and create a new project. We'll go over to Console App, C++. If you don't have this already in here, you would have to scroll through all this to find it. Or you could just try to type it in here, C++. I'm sure it'll pop up. Let's see if it will for us. Console App, that's the one you would want. So Console App, we'll click that. We'll hit Next. Intro 11. Create. Alright, while it's loading up, you get this screen again. We'll go ahead and delete all these. Go ahead and delete this. And we'll leave everything else pretty much the same from here on out. The backslashes, you won't see this in the program. Not sure if I said this before. These are just comments to kind of help you, kind of like a reference point of, hey, here's where I'm at in my program. This is the only information that we need. Or maybe I need to find where I put the variables at. That's how you would find it. So we'll go ahead and start off with declaring our variables as our first comment. Let's see here. So let me pull this back up. So we want to know let's see, we want a program that displays the savings account balance at the end of the month. This is pretty much the what we want to see at the very end of the program. In order to know what the balance is at the end of the month, we have to input this information as well. Let me read that back to black. Oops. Okay, so we want to know, in order to get our end of month balance, we have to input this information. So our variables are going to be beginning balance, total deposits, total withdrawals, end of month balance pretty much. So let me see here. Beginning balance, deposits, withdrawals, uh, end deposits, end balance. Okay, so that's how I already have the program pulled up on my other computer here, just so I can go through it quicker and make sure I did it right. So again, because the program is going to change all the time, what we input, that's why those are just variables. They're not constant. You want nothing in this program to stay constantly the same. So another thing too is when we're over here, this is this is our first desk check right here, right? For our first desk check, we're going to use these numbers. You would use, I personally like using the double instead of an integer or a float. I just go with this all the time. Just double, I mean, is what I go with all the time. So when we're on our screen, first thing we need to know is double. Well, we need to put the beginning balance, so we'll put begin. We need to know how much we deposit. We need to know how much we withdraw. Let me say withdraw. We need to be able to, since it's a variable, it's going to constantly change. And deposit. And balance. Alright, so just so I know how to, where I'm wording everything at. Next I'm gonna call this entering the info. So one thing too that I forgot here was using namespace std. Alright, that way we don't gotta do the whole std : cout whatnot. So first thing we want our program to show us is, something very simple. Oops. Something very simple. So when we run this right now, this is the habit that I've been trying to get into a lot more often myself, is just running pretty much every single time. It's more time consuming, but just trying to run everything once before proceeding to the next thing so I can see how the program is going. If it doesn't come out the way I want it to come out, that's how I know I need to work on that line. For me personally, it just helps me kind of stay more organized instead of trying to run through a bunch of code, trying to figure out where things are going wrong. Uh, I would recommend it. It has worked a lot for me. I just finished up chapter 9 and 10, and I mean, the information, it goes really fast, like how quick you have to do these things. And I guess not how fast you have to do things, but more so the information load is a lot. And if you don't understand one thing from 1 week, you're going to struggle the rest of the time. So beginning balance will just, it's allowing me by putting that C in input, I'm allowed to put in something here. So we'll just say 20. Obviously nothing's going to happen because we haven't gotten that far in the code. We want our program to let us, we have to know the beginning balance, enter total deposits. Alright, so when we run this now, pulling this back up, a program that displays the savings account balance at the end of the month given the beginning balance, total deposits, and total withdrawals. So by giving this program our beginning balance, or total deposits, and total withdrawals, we'll be able to get our balance at the end of the month. So we'll just say we start off with $20, we deposit $10, we withdraw $5, it ends there. No math has been done yet because we haven't gotten that far. So now we want to be able to calculate all that information. Calculate end of month balance. This one's super simple, easy math. The way I did it was NDESP equals the beginning balance plus deposits. That way, you know, if we begin our balance with $20, we deposit $10, we have $30, right? Well, we need to know how much we withdraw. So then we do end balance equals and deposits minus withdrawals. All right. If we were to run this right now, we would get nothing showing us how much is in our balance at the end of the month because we haven't programmed that yet. So we'll program that right now. We'll say displaying end of month balance. I think that's all we need, and that's pretty much does it right there. Super easy. So when we pull up the, see here if I can bring it up. Oh, come on now. I am clicking all over the place and things that don't matter. Okay. We'll do a super simple one that's not the desk check. We started off the month with $20. We'll enter that. We deposit $10, now our balance has $30. We're going to withdraw $5, so we should have $25 at the end of the month, right? Your end of month balance is $25. Exactly how you want it. If you want it to look a bit nicer, what you could do here is also do an NL. And then that'll just kind of give you a space between this line and this line. It just looks a little bit nicer, cleaner, if you will. That's all there is to this program. I already desk checked it once. We don't have to do this per se, but we will just for the hell of it. We can just run that. And I don't think I'll do the actual math on it because the one that I just showed is so simple and easy. We begin our balance with $2,545.75. We deposit $409.43, and we withdraw $210.65. Our end of month balance is that. How do we know that's correct? I guess I'll just go ahead and do it. Let me pull out my calculator on my phone because I am terrible at math. So we start off with 245.5 plus 409.43 equals $2,955.18. That is our end of deposits. That's how much we have after we deposit money. When we take this and we subtract our withdrawals, which is $210.65, we're left with $2,744.53, which is our answer, right? That was the answer that we got, I believe. Let's make that yellow because that's what we wanted to be able to display. Yep, it lines up. So the nice thing about this one too, the last video I showed was setting the set precision fixed to only 2 decimal places. Since we count money in only 2 decimal places, there's no need to do that in this program. So what we have here will work perfect for that example or that exercise problem. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think once you get into chapter 5, things start getting a little bit harder. So it's really great to just try and understand everything as best you can. If you are bad at math like I am, you have to really think. Last problem I did once I get into chapter 10, I had to like write out a lot to figure out how I can. It was a problem based on time and a half pay and double pay, and I was doing the math incorrectly. So a lot of looping, a lot of ifs. Not a lot of looping. There's one loop and many ifs, and just trying to figure out, well, if they work X amount of overtime, you'll see when I post that video. But this will get you through the course for that, get you through that chapter pretty much.